Rakdos has returned to the Gross Goblet, the Tainted Grail. Buckle up, everybody. This one's gonna be a long one. Despite our incredible power as the Apostate, the fights just end up taking quite some time. We click a lot of cards. Right off the bat, we have a lot of Runestones that we can transmute, we can exchange. We're really trying for a specific combination here, and I'm pretty sure this is where it happens. Oh no, it doesn't happen yet. It doesn't happen yet. Okay, so I think I will save a spoiler for later. But I make a terrible mistake with my Runestones. I think right before the secret final boss. Here we're just trying to match up maybe 3 Gurs to create the level 2 Gur rune. No, maybe not yet. Using the Year rune is always a good idea. Year rune's super powerful. Let's see what the plan with the Blacksmith is. Maybe trying to get a level 3 calc. I look at my basic common runestones, decide that's probably not going to work. Yeah, I don't really see a lot I can do if I want to keep my Year rune, and I do. So I think I decide that there really, despite my, large amount of money, not a lot to do at the Blacksmith. I might buy a passive here. Whenever you have a lot of extra money and you're not trying to stack up on these coins, I think passives are a really good use. Again, just as we did with the true Necromancer, we're buying a lot of consumables that boost our damage. We are really shooting for a high score in this final boss fight. And we briefly contemplate upgrading some of these really powerful buff items, but no, another time. Passive point, please. And I always click the wrong button every time. And when I'm always trying to grab the random passive skill. Once per combat, using your ultimate ability with 0 energy grants you 1 energy. Pretty dang good. Especially considering that we are playing, I don't know, maybe like 15, sometimes 20 maneuvers a turn on just 3 energy. So 1 additional energy can really be the difference between maybe like 2 to 5 additional maneuvers. Fearlessly just charge straight into the first pack. And we start playing our cards. We're very familiar with how our deck works now. We have our overdraw, which is going to make our damage outrageous. And yet, we take so long. Pretty good opening turn here, getting to play triple somersault for free. And duplicating it, it seems. Flipping all the cards we can before we hit our button. Might decide to acid shot just to get it out of my hand. Acid shot, you really are not relying on its damage. I mean, sure, you could ramp your damage up to 30,000%, and then yeah, acid shot's going to do a lot of damage. But I think that it's better to fire it off early, get that minus 50 armor applied, and have that amplify all of your future damage. It also frees up a space in your hand, which is vitally important. You want your entire hand to be full of cards that reduce each other's cost, a lot of maneuvers, and then just a couple key damage dealing cards that you can abuse. As you can see here, we've reduced the cost of pretty much our entire hand to 0 just through playing maneuvers over and over and over again. We haven't even hit our button yet, I don't believe. We definitely haven't, because we have Stunning Idea. You can always tell, because if you have Stunning Idea, you haven't hit your button. There we go. Switch back to Idea. Now we have Idea Overwhelming Insight. I should have played the Furious Overdraw there instead of playing the Feints. I wasn't keeping track of my duplicates. Check out my increased damage percentage there. Now, I probably could kill them. My damage is probably high enough, but I'm not even checking. Because for sheer efficiency purposes, I want to learn this deck. You know, I try to duplicate this card. See, I didn't fail to duplicate the second time. I play absolutely everything. Everything keeps cost reducing the other cards. So we play everything in our hand. We try to get our duplicates, and then we get to play a free Overwhelming Insight. Duplicated. So it's back to Overwhelming Insight, allowing us to use Idea on it again later after we play all of our maneuvers. Can you see how this is a little busted? We already have our full ultimate charge again. We're still duplicating Overdraw, which, as I said, that's 400% increased damage for the turn. The enemies are dead. And this is something that I need to learn. Like, me complaining that this class takes so long is kind of my own fault. You know, because I'm pushing the efficiency to the limit, my turns take way longer than they should. So this is something that I definitely have learned through watching my replays, and I'm going to try to improve upon. Check the damage of the cards in your hand periodically. You know, if they say 2,000-3,000 damage like this, look at that. Why? That's so excessive. They're dead to just the shots. Well, that guy wasn't. Maybe I didn't have all the damage that I thought I had. Maybe I did need to ramp up that high. But yeah, as you can see, the fights take a while despite them ending in turn 1. Our deck is pretty strong. Adding cards to it is very dangerous. The cards that we add need to be perfect for the deck at this point. But our rerolls are still pretty cheap, so I think that we try for those here. Our brain is just trying to find a way to get those multi-shot cards to work. And there probably is a way. I haven't given up on them, but they are not for this run. Now, I look at the lob shot here. I think about it. 7 times 50, add up the damage, and then I think, or for 1, I can play Arrow of Destiny. Why would I ever play lob shot when I can play Arrow of Destiny? This is what I'm thinking here. The damage is not even comparable. Sure, lob shot is area of effect when Arrow of Destiny is single target, but if I can bring Arrow of Destiny back from the grave, I honestly think that it's way better. Yeah, I just can't justify it. I'm like, nope, makes my deck worse. Really good getting a cracked calc there.
The man.
Here, Explosive Strength is almost always the pick, but I think here I pick Quintessence. No, I think I pick Explosive Strength, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't have any big, powerful attacks to duplicate. Quintessence is good when you have 2 or 3 energy attacks that allow you to, you know, play 9 weaker attacks and then duplicate a really strong one. A lot of beefy enemies here. Big life pools in front of us. We debate on the order of things because the order matters so much, especially in the beginning. This is really where you can shoot yourself in the foot by not playing the right cards. This class is very easy once you kind of get the hang of what your overall goal is. And we already run out of energy here, it seems. Not the greatest. I already have both of those reduced to 0, the Shot of Destiny and the Arrows of the Past. That will allow me to get an early kill, return the shot to my hand, power up even more, and then get a later kill, most likely the final kill. Yeah, we're forced to idea here, I would say. It's not the end of the world. We can work off 0 energy. And we get an energy back from our ultimate when we use it. As you can see, we duplicated the Glimpse of Possibility, Overwhelming Insight, which I actually think was a mistake. Because now when I flip the Stunning Idea over to Idea, the Overwhelming Insight will flip to a Glimpse of Possibility. And I do not want that to be the case. I need that to be Overwhelming Insight so that I can reduce the cost of all the cards in my hand to 0 once more. So we're just hoping with all these flips that randomly the cost of Overwhelming Insight gets reduced to 0. I think we missed it. Let's see. Ooh. We get one more shot. I'm looking at my duplicates, realizing how bad that I jacked up my duplicates. I have a lot of different duplicate effects going on. I have the Year Rune. Every 4th card gets duplicated. Every 10th flip is going to be duplicated for me. So that's very dangerous with cards like Insight and Stunning Insight. We missed it. So we have to button. Well, we have to murder something and then button. Look how much damage this does. Get it back. Hit our button, and now we realize that the glimpse actually got reduced to 0. So that solved all of our problems, and we gained an energy because we did not have one when we used our ultimate. So we will easily be able to, we duplicated the wrong card there. We'll easily be able to climb back up to full ultimate charges. I'm just sitting there stunned, like, how do you keep miscounting this? And it's because the entire time that you're playing, you're counting your cards like 1, 2, 3, duplicate. 5, 6, 7, duplicate. And you're kind of very carefully making sure that you're playing the right card at the right time. And here our duplicate target is always overdraw. If you don't see that overdraw flip twice like that, then I kind of messed up. Because we're just trying to amplify our damage for this turn as much as possible. No cards left in deck, so we're just trying to play everything. Last card we play is Stunning Idea, reduce their armor, makes our damage even more effective. They still have to survive so much damage coming their way here. Did not even need to use the Shot of Destiny twice. We get 2 level ups here. Easy skips. And now I have some interesting choices. The Pleasant Surprise will let me get more free quivers, but I think to myself, I'm already getting a lot of free cards due to the other passive I have. Increasing your damage by 3 is very powerful. It increases your minimum damage and your maximum damage. And I'm almost about to pull the trigger on it. But then I read back to the origins. Flipping cards to default positions grants an energy next turn? There's no way that that can mean for each flip. Surely that means no matter how many flips you do, as long as you made a flip in the turn, you gain 1 energy next turn, right? This game is very reserved with giving energy. No. No. That is not how it works. It works exactly how it says it works. So, because I am using 30 maneuvers a turn, 20 maneuvers a turn, on turn 2, I will be getting 20 to 30 extra energy to use. Now, there are so many problems with this, but my biggest problem with this is that I can already play 20 to 30 maneuvers with 3 energy. With 30 energy, how many maneuvers do you think that I can play? Now, imagine I play those maneuvers, and then next turn I have 60 or 80. Imagine I have 100, maybe 200 energy. How many maneuvers do you think I could play? How much % damage do you think that I could get? Yes, it's getting close to the time where I can fully show you the meaning of the title of the first video. Actually infinite damage. This class truly can achieve not infinite, not true infinite, but very close. Because it's a tangible number, hard number, does not mean that it's not so high that it trivializes everything in the game. The leaderboards for this class are incredibly competitive. I cannot wait till I can show you the final boss fight for this Apostate and show you where I landed on the leaderboards with this one. Only at a measly 1,600% damage here. Going very slow, trying to learn our deck. We want to, if at all possible, kill this giant grub first. If we can end up killing the grub and kill its spawns, we will reduce the amount of enemies we need to fight in this fight in total. Bam. Huge shot of destiny. That thing had so much armor, so much life. Still got split. We ramp our damage up even higher. Now you see that stunning idea on the right hand side. That means we haven't hit our button yet. Unfortunately, we have Glimpse of Possibility and it gets flipped over, but it gets reduced to 0. So we are free and clear to just play our combo. That should have been overdraw. We miscounted our duplicate again. As you can see, there's still a lot of efficiency to be gained. And I'm trying to play as good as I can, but there's a lot of little things to keep track of. Yeah, and it's just, we start to try to play faster because it's just play every 0 cost card. Play that. Use our idea, play Glimpse of Possibility. Or sorry, Overwhelming Insight. Oops, there is a perfect example. I was miscounting my duplicates. I played idea and it flipped over to Stunning Idea, which discards all of my maneuvers. So I had plenty more that I could do that turn, but I shot myself in the foot by miscounting my duplicates. Duplicates are a very, very strong resource and tool that you can use, but if you are not careful with this particular class, you might end up getting yourself killed in a couple of fights. So that was a very good example. I'm glad that you guys got to see that happen. With Spiritual Flurry, I should have this wrapped up. I think I duplicate Spiritual Flurry. Did I? I don't know. Let me see. Duplicating Spiritual Flurry is something that I learned that you can do. And it does not take 2 times the ultimate charges from you. So duplicating quivers is very good. You only have to pay the ultimate charges once. And any cards that it can't fit in your hand will go into your deck. This is huge. You can actually utilize this to squeeze out tons of extra damage. And here's where it happens. I lose my mind because I'm offered a second shot of destiny. Now it's against Unstable Mixture, and I battle with this for a little bit. Unstable Mixture is pretty good. I can reduce the armor of my enemies by 100. The armor reduction to me doesn't matter so much because I have, 2,000 barrier a turn. I contemplate it, but nothing is going to increase my damage numbers more than a second shot of destiny. I come to this conclusion pretty quickly. A second shot of destiny means another 100,000 damage hit. Arrows of the Past there too, as well, interestingly enough, is kind of a shot of destiny. And Arrows of the Past being able to be duplicated, something that I end up utilizing a little bit later, pretty good. But still not as good as duplicating a shot of destiny. Duplicating Shot of Destiny is obscene for just racking up single target damage. Each arrow card drawn from a quiver has its energy cost reduced. Nah. Each arrow card drawn from a quiver increases your damage. Ooh. We have a quiver that draws us 7 arrows, so that's quite a bit of extra damage. We don't have to think too hard about that one. Get another upgrade. I find it weird that the Blacksmith gives worse runestones to you than regular fights. He should at least give you something decent. Our Shot of Destiny gets reduced to 0 here on its own, but unfortunately we start the fight with Overwhelming Insight instead of its other side, Glimpse of Possibility. Yeah, see, not super impressive to just use Overwhelming Insight when your hand is not super stacked. And Glimpse of Possibility helps your hand get very stacked. And see, we've used a little bit of energy and resources just to get ourselves into a position where our hand is full. But now we have our Furious Overdraw that we can duplicate, and our damage will start to explode. So see, we had a double duplicate there. We duplicated the Overdraw, and then we duplicated the Feints, and we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Dang it, I would have played Overdraw again. So those are the little duplicates that you can miss. See, I messed up there too. Although I would think I was trying to save energy. Maybe I didn't want to play the Overdraw for 1. But only after playing a couple cards, the Shot of Destiny is enough to one-shot that guy, despite how much armor he had. You don't need to go all out and play 30 maneuvers when you're using Shot of Destiny. As long as it was in your hand from the beginning, its damage will skyrocket. Because you gotta think, the cards that you're playing are boosting your damage and its damage. So it's double dipping in its damage scaling from every single card that you play. I kind of regret not murdering the worm, because I probably could have saved myself some spawns here. Didn't follow my own advice, but we should have enough ammunition to kill all of them. Interesting choice. I guess I think to myself they're already dead, and I really don't need to go any further. But Clearly my damage is not as high. And I didn't duplicate that, which I probably should have if I was looking to finish this turn. We know Shot of Destiny is going to kill the guy on the right, so we really don't have to worry about it. And we know we can do that at any time. Yeah, not played very well. We end up getting a random card draw. Oh my goodness. We refill. Do we actually recombo back off? We draw Furious Overdraw. Yeah, we start ramping again. We immediately switch modes. Unfortunately, Stunning Idea remains in our hand. Did get quite a bit of extra damage off that, though. And we did kind of need it with their high armor value. Shot of Destiny, the big worm, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because he had such high armor. Armor plays a big part in damage reduction, for sure. Have I buttoned yet? I think so. No, I don't think so. No, maybe? I didn't. Yeah, I really did not play that turn one very well. Using Stunning Idea to discard your cards before you flip them is not great. Definitely not great. And look how much more damage we were able to acquire after throwing out quite a bit of attacks just by drawing one card. All we drew was Glimpse of Possibility, and that was it. And just because if we had drawn Faints, you know, almost any other card, we probably would not have been able to restart our combo like this. But we pick it right back up. Continuously duplicating. Now we have the damage we need to finish, the damage that we needed from the beginning. Do we have the arrows to finish is the question. I still save myself a lot of spawns here, if you look. All those were trying to spawn into 2. Single shot kills this guy. Yeah. So, still 3 on the board. Definitely could have done that way better. I sunk so many shots into those big thick worms that didn't split them. And they definitely could have contained enough damage to split them. And watching our damage go back down, all the way back down from the thousands. But we look at our energy here. This is where we notice, because it's our first turn 2 that we've had in a long time. Yeah, we lose our minds that says 30. We lose our minds. As soon as we see that, we're like, oh, so the damage is infinite. Truly. Because I can crank out Shots of Destiny that do 20,000 damage, which is way more than anything's life that you ever have to fight. You know, I can do that with 3 energy. So now that I have 30, I can just play all the cards. I can just play Furious Overdraw over and over and over and over and over again. Like, I choose when to end the fight, pretty much. I definitely think that needs to be adjusted or changed in some way. I mean, granted, it can't trigger until turn 2, if that's something that is some kind of negative. But no, from turn 2 onwards, you're just an infinite damage machine. And you're immortal, by the way, because you're creating so much armor and barrier. Yeah. Yep, so we grapple with the fact that we're immortal. Look at the cards offered. For a moment, I think we consider Sharp Shot, but we're like, why? Shot is just as good. If our damage is infinite, Shot is just as good. An Exhausting Shot really doesn't have a place either. It does a lot, but it doesn't do as much as Arrow of Destiny. And I have to compare everything to it, especially because I have 2 of them. Nope. We turn it down. Well, I hope that you brought snacks and a drink, and I hope that you're comfortable, because we're about halfway through this third area so far. Thank you so much for chilling with me and sticking with it. I'm very interested to see what you guys think about how we end up finishing this run and about our score on the scoreboard. At the time of the recording, we get super lucky here, create a flawless Gur. We end up getting the third one, which boosts our damage up a ton. We're really sad that we don't have a third weapon slot Runestone unlocked. We're really hoping for that to be offered to us here in this third area. Now we feel super strong. I mean, ultimately, it really didn't boost our damage that much, considering things, because, we're a single cast of Overdraw in most instances gives us 400% increased damage. So that rune is going to give us about 150% increased damage at all times, something to that effect. I didn't read the exact numbers on it, but it's like a free overdraw, not the most impressive thing. It's going to help, but it's not going to make or break the build. You don't need it to pull off the power that we're exhibiting here. I think to myself, what else do I really even need to fight? I'm like really strong. I look at my weird candles, I'm like, I really just don't need another weird candle. I've been running around with low life because I know that I'm immortal. But I think I should heal just so that I can offer my life to events. I think that was what I considered there. Bad opening hand. Not the greatest weird card. We took this fight with lower light than I normally take fights with. Especially with this many candles. What am I doing? I should have max light, be getting 0 energy cost, super powerful weird cards every single fight. Just to help the fights go faster. Yet another super big worm that's going to duplicate. I think this fight, we kind of have to kill the Necromancer first, I think. The Necromancer is one of those units that really needs to be focused down. But I still think we can save ourselves a lot of spawns if we kill the worm early. Getting the handle on the order to play our cards in. Accidentally get a duplicate there, but that every 10th flipped card duplicate is very hard to coordinate with every 4th card played duplicate. We check our Shot of Destiny. I don't think it's enough based on how much armor that dude has. Already pushed ourselves up to over 1,000%. Both of our Shot of Destinies are in our hand, and both of them are free, and we have arrows of the past. So we have 3 potential Shot of Destinies. Bam. And for free, no, we should have used arrows. You want to use Arrows of the Past immediately to get it back in your hand. Did it get back shot? I can't see. I think it did. It didn't. It got back a, yeah, it got back a regular shot. Oh. So it is random. I sincerely thought that it just returned the last arrow that you played, because I actually rely on that later. I use both of my shots of destiny and then use arrows duplicated. Use Arrows of the Past duplicated and return them both to my hand to do them again. I must have been either getting lucky or they were the only arrows in my graveyard at the time, which does make sense. That easily could have been the case. All right, we go for the stunning idea, reduce the armor a little bit, and it's time to blow up the worm. Might as well lead with Acid Shot. If you're gonna, you know, do a bunch of little hits, lead with Acid Shot. Now each of these are going to try to split into two with around 170 life, I think. Debating on when I Spiritual Flurry for the duplicate. I did it. Yes. Look at my draw. So I just summoned so many weak shots due to the duplicate, fully filled up my hand, and my draw pile now has weak shots in it. So if I have cards still in my hand when I do this that allow me to draw cards, like in the middle of a combo when I still have a lot of maneuvers, I can play weak shots in between my maneuvers and draw tons of extra damage in a single turn. I might not have explained it as elegantly as I can show you and perform it, but just stick around. You'll get to see what I mean. That gets duplicated. Shot of Destiny here. Now we prevented one spawn of a 170 HP dude, which splits into two dudes. So we just saved 3 spawns so far. These try to split into 2 dudes. We saved 4 spawns. 5 spawns, 6 spawns. We could have saved more if we hadn't had to kill the Necromancer, but still a lot of ammunition saved there. I think doing it that way allowed us to turn 1 it. Yep. Yep, we got it. Calculated. Take our livers. Corrosive Rainfall is tempting, but I think that enough casts of Acid Shot plus some other talents that reduce armor, I think our armor reduction is fine. And here we get to take, if you've used more than 4 cards, you get to get an attack in. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a free hit that hurts really bad. After every 4th maneuver, stun an enemy. That sounds pretty good, but this is what we were waiting for. The bottom one, Smoke and Mirrors. That's why we didn't take the armor reduction. After using a maneuver, reduce the armor of all enemies by 5 this turn. You know how many maneuvers we use. That's not even a flip. That's every maneuver use. So, yeah. We definitely take that. Now our enemies will have no armor against our massive amount of damage. They have no way to mitigate our super, super high damage number. So we should be able to kill really early now. We get to switch out into the Cracked Calc yet again. Now that's going to make our turn 1 way better. We're going to get 2 additional cards that are going to be 0 for the most part. We've fully invested in this merchant, which I'm super disappointed in. I hate to be super critical, but when you invest this much money into a merchant, or any NPC, you want something spectacular to happen. And no, all he does is sell stuff for super cheap, which I get it, but am I going to save more money in the long run having invested in him? Like, you have to use him all the time to get value out of him, is what I'm trying to say. It's such a huge upfront investment that, and you're still paying for these items. They're not free. They're just cheap. I switch out my combat items to have some weaker ones so that I'm not kind of clinging onto them. Some ones that can help end fights. Specifically, that dagger is very good on the Apostate, since it just does damage equal to your damage, a percentage of your damage. It can end up being super powerful after you've ramped your whole combo out. Any opening hand that doesn't have Glimpse of Possibility in it is bad. So we have to draw. This is where Future Shot and the Shot of Hope are very good. Free draw and free energy reduction to allow us to play cards, which triggers our passive, lets us draw. Those are some easy ways without spending energy that we can draw a little bit. We're hoping for bam, and we get super lucky. Top card was Overwhelming Insight. We play it for free. It gets duplicated, gets back to the Overwhelming Insight, and we get to play all of our maneuvers and watch the enemy's armor melt. Now, they did start with around 70 some armor, but by the time that we unleash our damage on them, I think they're in the negative. Arrows of the Past is our last card, so we do want to draw that into our hand, meaning we need to play a attack card, something that reduces our hand size. Think about which one it is going to be. Could be Shot of Destiny, since I'm just going to play arrows to get it back. But like I said, just throw out Acid Shot. Don't worry about trying to get max damage out of it. If it can get a kill, great. Let it get a kill. But now I have 2 arrows for sure in my discard. But I'm almost positive that the Shot of Destiny is returned back to me with Arrows of the Past from here on out. I legitimately think that it just gets the best arrow from your graveyard at some point. Like, that is the level of consistency in which it returned Shot of Destiny to me. We contemplate playing our Overwhelming Insight for 2 here. We haven't used our ultimate yet, so that we still have 3 energy we consider to ourselves. We haven't really invested anything yet. Yeah, not bad. Take ourselves down to 1. We can still even reduce ourselves down to 0 before hitting the button, so that we gain 1 energy back once per fight. And we really only need to do it once per fight, if you know what I mean. 5 armor left, boys. Cling to it. We get a full button here. Always super powerful to get a full button. The difference between 14 out of 15 and 15 out of 15 with the Apostate is pretty big, guys. Carefully duplicating our damage boost. Getting a free Overwhelming Insight. We almost didn't see that card. We almost didn't see that feint. And it's so good to duplicate Overwhelming Insight now that I have an idea in my hand. Because every time I do that, an idea is free. I get to replay all of my maneuvers in my hand and still have the option to use idea and do it once more. Bam. Now I should have done that sooner to get the Shot of Destiny back in my hand. This Shot of Destiny is just auto kill to anything, and I think that even duplicated. I think that's the animation where you see the arrow fly off into the side corner there. The Shot of Destiny that I just drew that had not been ramping damage was enough to just auto kill. Very strong to return that to your hand. I think it remembers all of the damage that it attained while it was in your hand. We get super lucky, get a legendary drop here that we know we can switch into something else until ultimate tragedy strikes later. Super excited to take this treasure fight because we really, really want the opportunity to gain another Runestone slot. And on this treasure fight, I honestly think this is one of the easiest, if not the easiest, treasure hoard. This guy has never been threatening to me. Not once. I think I kill him in turn 1 on every class I play, every run I've ever played, on every difficulty. When he pops up, he is just a joke. I don't think I've ever seen his moveset. I don't know what these dudes on the side do. I mean, it looks like they're just going to heal him. But he ends up like reducing his own armor somehow. I think when you kill his little side guys, his armor is reduced greatly. And the cards that get added to your hand deal a lot of damage. And a lot of times, like, you end up just 2 or 3 shotting him. Yeah, see, his armor gets reduced. Bam. That's the first one. Took him almost down to half. And now look how low the armor is of all of his minions. So even my basic damage just does so much to them. Like with Shot of Destiny, I can end this fight. I can just Shot of Destiny 2 minions, get 2 damage cards, and kill him. He's already dead. He's already dead. I decided to do this. It was a bad idea. I just need to fully put him in his grave. I should play Overwhelming Insight and not duplicate it before the fight ends. If I was a smart guy, I would do that. I don't think I'd do that. Oh yeah, you're done, buddy. Bam. 1,400 damage. Hoping for weapon Runestone slot. Again, look at Ambition now compared to Overdraw and Furious Overdraw. You gain 25% damage for 2 turns. Why? When I can gain 400% damage. You know, the other side of it reduces their armor, but only until their armor is at negative 500. Then it's not amping your damage. On the other hand, Overdraw always amps your damage a ton. Yeah, I just don't think that the safety Ambition provides you is necessary when you have infinite energy and infinite barrier. And I know not truly infinite. Okay, so we hit our level 21 mastery. We actually get to use the quiver one this time because I honestly think that the Apostate's level 21 masteries are bad. I can never find a use for the your maneuvers deal more damage. I always have a super hard time seeing a world where you're going to have maneuvers left in your hand before you start doing damage. You're always going to use the card that discards all your maneuvers. We did get the weapon Runestone slot, so now we are balling out of control with power. We can use double calc to draw 4 cards in the opening turn and pretty much max our hand out, but we don't think that's really what we need to do. We're already getting our hand to max in turn 1. Pretty easy. So we think of something else. What can it be? Energy every 3 turns is not going to help us because we don't get to turn 3. 4 base damage. 4 base damage sounds solid. With as much percent damage as we are gaining, base damage becomes even more valuable. Remember this. If your percent damage is super, super, super high, base damage is going to increase your max damage way more than more percentage damage. I think we're set. Whew, 49 minutes in. Feeling good, though. We are still pushing through. Like I said, we're ending the fights in turn 1, one time in turn 2, and still takes quite a bit of time to get through everything. Now, we're max level, so we really shouldn't just be taking every single fight, but we do. Because we know we're super powerful, and we know that fights are free. So they're just free resources at this point. At this point, I still have patience. The patience slowly erodes over time, though. This, class can be kind of fun, but I'm not in it for playing turns with 200 energy. I'm not about that. Already Shot of Destiny is in kill range. So crazy. So crazy. I haven't even done anything yet. I'm barely at 1000% bonus damage. Shot of Destiny is super powerful. In my opinion, they could reduce the bonus damage that it gains from each card played before it by half, and it would still be auto pick every single time, no brainer. Simply because it always ends up overkilling by such an egregious margin. I didn't need to play it there. I could have done all this before playing it and still killed anything with it. Hey, look, Arrows of the Past gets back Shot of Destiny. Now, did I have other arrows in my graveyard? It's hard to say, because my right-hand side is so full of buffs that the entire screen is blotted out. I can barely see the end turn button. Look at this. That's actually kind of crazy. I don't think I noticed that during play, somehow. Wow, that's actually fully obscuring. I mean, just looking at the damage of this acid shot, I'm pretty sure we could just end the fight here. We have so much more that we could play and do, but when acid shot's doing 1000 damage, truly, what are we doing here? Yeah, end it. Let it end. Let's get out of here. No point in even flipping our cards with our ultimate. Let's go. Wow, 2 minutes. Remember to always take the 3 specific common runestones instead of the 2 specific rare runestones. Unless this is not bugged for you, but it's bugged for me. And when I pick 2 specific rare runestones, he offers me 2 specific common runestones. So by picking option number 2, I gypped myself of a runestone pretty much. So here we're going to definitely try for the level 3 calc to draw 3 cards in the opening turn. I think we hit it here. Yep, we made it. Nice. Our runes are looking super powerful. Definitely, and then we find the rune carrier. And we're like, oh yeah, we can make something even more powerful happen here. That's kind of what's spurring me on in this run, is just to just see how ridiculous I can make it. How nuts can we make it here? Getting that quick duplicate on overdraw. It's not as hard for us to count our cards because we've been doing it this entire game. So it's become a little bit second nature. A couple times I get distracted and look back at the game and think, wait, how many cards have I played? Oh, snap. What card's going to be duplicated next? Oh no. I'm in the middle of the combo here. So it gets a little tough. Sometimes you can look at these little indicators in the top right. Like it says I have 6 cards flipped. you can think to yourself, well, if I haven't played any attacks, then I've really only played 6 cards. But I know I've played an attack, so that was actually 7, meaning that Furious Overdraw right there was my 8th, so that it was going to flip. Shot of Destiny, just excessive damage. Now, we do have some options in our graveyard. We get back Shot of Hope. We didn't get back. Or no, we did get... Did we? No. Because we already had the other Shot of Destiny in our hand, I think. That happened very quickly. I can't tell if we duplicated it and we actually did get back the Shot of Destiny and the Shot of Hope, or what happened there. But since we're out of cards and there are not 2 Shots of Destiny in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and say that it did not get back Shot of Destiny. Okay, so it is just random. Cool. Well, I get very lucky. And I guess I also didn't notice how many times that it failed to grab the card I was looking for, because it really didn't matter. Overdraw's free here, but I kind of want to duplicate it, and I'm not on my duplicate yet. So I wanted to play a couple cards before it. Now it's safe to play. Get our duplicate. The Year Rune. Do not sleep on the Year Rune. Everybody that is familiar with this game in this community probably already knows the superpower of the Year Rune. I was peeking around in the Discord the other day and posting up my first True Necromancer video and saw some pretty hilarious memes about the Year Rune. So yeah, I'm pretty sure people are aware, but if you are not, try to rush to the ability to get the mythical tier runes and track this rune down. It is super fun to play with. Sometimes it's a little excessive, sometimes it makes your play a little hectic and frustrating with certain classes, but all in all, undeniably powerful. Did that say 300? Yeah, we're doing a lot of damage. Do we duplicate the Spiritual Flurry? I think doing that right now is a super good idea with the maneuvers in our hands, because then we could continuously play maneuvers and draw the cards in our deck. Draw the damage dealing cards in our deck that it would put there. I really hope that we pull that combo off before the end of this video, so that I can remember to fully elaborate on it. No! Don't play that. Play the flurry. Yeah, now that it is not duplicated, it's not as impactful to do. Yeah, no. Definitely. I still probably kill here. Oh, okay. I did duplicate the flurry, and I made sure that I had no cards left in my hand. Okay. So that's what I was doing. It didn't matter which way that I did it, truly, but doing it the way that I described initially, putting the extra cards in your deck, is very good when you're comboing, because you end up drawing a lot of cards, and if you have no cards left in deck, then you waste those draws. Just buy everything. Always from this guy, just buy everything. We end up getting a couple combinations off the runes we buy from him. We did not get any rare rune combinations, unfortunately, just common ones. And we review our rune build. We've got a lot of interesting effects. We're just making sure that everything we have going for us right now is what we want. And we're trying to think about, if given the opportunity at the next Blacksmith, what will we do with these runes to make our build better, if we can. And we try. And we fail, somehow. Oh, I can't wait to post my shame. And then we casually stroll into the boss. Dead set on killing this fool in turn 1, just like we've done with almost every fight here. This dude has a pretty big life pool, especially on higher difficulties. Yeah, 3,400 with max armor. That should be pretty hard to get through. I say as I try to give him some some credit before we just lay into him. I luckily grabbed some armor reduction with my weird card. That saves me a lot of trouble. We get to duplicate our Glimpse of Possibility, Overwhelming Insight. Already have both Shots of Destiny in hand that are both free. We know we can shoot this out because we are trying to draw the quiver, and we drew it. So now, as soon as the quiver's free, we'll play it and get back that shot. We just needed to do that to get it out of our hand temporarily. I still probably should not have done that, and I probably should have used one of these weaker shots for that purpose, but it ends up working out. So now I do have 2 arrows in the discard. Paying very close attention now to what Arrows of the Past brings back. Too many buffs, I think to myself. Oh, that was not a good duplicate. We should have duplicated our overdraw. Maybe we can duplicate arrows. Cannot see what it got back. I don't think it got back the Shot of Destiny. Acid shot and something else. Yeah, I think it missed. Wow. My confidence in that card upon rewatching this, I thought that it was just super strong for me, but it appears it didn't return Shot of Destiny to me as many times as I thought it did. Goodbye. That's all it takes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this entertaining or educational, definitely leave a like. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.